All right, this is the Higher Minds Podcast. How you doing, Sam?
Hi, Scott.
I'm Papa Darby.
We got H and K both in the house today.
Hey, thanks for having us. Yeah, so we're happy they're here.
Yeah.
We like having them here.
And hopefully this should be a interesting topic. Something that they can weigh in on a little bit.
That don't know what do we do here?
What we do here is we research things, we smoke it up, and then we talk about the things that we researched.
We've done that 10 times. No, we've done that 11 times now.
Is that what we're on? This is episode 12 now?
No. Sorry, this is 11. That one, the announcement one is counting as one. So this is 10.
Okay.
Yes. So we've done it 9 times before.
So what's the topic of the day?
We're doing cryptids.
Cryptids.
As in cryptozoology.
Yes.
What is that?
It's shit that might exist, but we're not fucking positive yet.
Do we have a definition?
I don't know if we actually have a definition.
Do that.
I like mine, though. That was a good shit that might exist, but we're not fucking sure.
You definitely put the un in sophisticated. Crypto. Nope, I need to spell it correctly, right?
This episode's getting off to a great start.
Yeah.
While you're doing that, what's the weed of the week this week?
The weed of the week this week is, oh, shoot.
What'd you do with it?
Diablo Fuego.
Diablo Fuego.
Drink it. It's right next to me. Tell us about it.
This is Diablo Fuego, a hybrid sativa with 22.5% THC.
Nice. I don't think I haven't smoked this one ever before.
I don't think I have either.
Last time we got Golden Goat.
Golden Goat.
It's easy.
So, where do you want to start this off at?
I want to define cryptozoology.
Oh yeah, I forgot we're doing that already.
The search for and study of animals. The search for and study of animals whose existence or survival is disputed or unsubstantiated, such as the Loch Ness Monster and the Yeti. Those guys.
Yeah. So, we each picked one each, and then we each picked a mystery one each.
Well, we both, I think we both researched a little bit of Bigfoot.
Yeah.
You can take the lead on that one. I know a little bit.
I've kind of gone off the deep end on Bigfoot shit in last week to watch different shit, so. So, let's go ahead and jump in with, what was your one that isn't the surprise one yet?
Mothman.
Mothman.
Yeah.
What the fuck is a Mothman?
So, Mothman is like a 6 foot or so humanoid figure that has been seen or sighted in Point Pleasant, West Virginia, right over the Ohio border on the Ohio River. A 6 foot humanoid with about it varies, but 7 to 12 foot wingspan.
That doesn't seem big enough for something that big.
Well, according to the witnesses, it works.
Okay.
But the interesting thing, and I think I'll mention this, but maybe I won't. I'll mention it now. So the thing is apparently it flies. Yes, it's been seen flying, but it doesn't seem to use its wings. It seems to propel itself in another way, like jetpack-like.
Okay. Almost Superman-ish.
Yeah. But it seems to be nocturnal. And it also seems to be a premonition of doom.
I've heard that before.
There's the movie with Richard Gere. Sorry, Richard Gere and Deborah Messing, who played in the. Let's start that fucking over. There's a movie called the Mothman Prophecies, starring Richard Gere and Deborah Messing, in which they. Tell the story of the Silver Bridge over the Ohio River at Point Pleasant into adjacent Gallipolis in Ohio. What happened?
Into where, Ohio?
Gallipolis.
Okay.
It looks like Gallipolis.
Okay. Ohio has some weird names. A lot of Indian names.
Mostly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Cuyahoga.
Mm-hmm. Tuscaroras.
Coshocton.
Ooh, I forgot about Coshocton. Good one.
Yeah.
I like being that I grew up in Ohio, I like getting out an Ohio map and having not Ohio people try to say Ohio names.
Yeah. That's fun.
Yeah. It's a good time.
I was listening to a podcast and we said Lodi.
Lodi? The major city in Wayne County starts with a W. How do you pronounce that one?
Say that again?
The major city, and I use major city very loosely, in Wayne County. Starts with a W.
I don't know what city you're talking about.
Okay. It's Wooster.
Oh, Worcester.
Worcester. Okay,
Yeah.
You do say it right.
Yeah.
Because not Ohio people call it Wooster.
I know. But yeah, so Gallipolis is this place. That I don't think is Native American. That sounds Greek. Polis.
Could be, yeah. Yeah, it does sound Greek.
In that movie, the Richard Gere is a journalist. He plays a real life journalist. Unimportant. He plays a journalist that goes and covers the sightings and ends up being a part of the Silver Bridge collapse. Silver Bridge collapsed, killing 46 people.
Which was a real thing. It's a movie based on a real event.
In
1966. 66? I was thinking it was like mid-70s.
So, a little history for the area. It's Point Pleasant, now known as Point Pleasant, West Virginia.
What was it previously known as?
The area itself was known as a place that was avoided. I don't think they really named it, but the Native Americans that lived there at the time avoided it because it's where two rivers converge, the Ohio and the Mississippi. And according to the belief, place where waters converge is bad luck. And it seems to follow.
Yeah.
So, in the area, there is a massive Native American grave in the vicinity of what is now called the McClintock Wildlife Management Area. It's slightly northeast of Point Pleasant proper. I like saying that. Point Pleasant proper. Anyway, in 1774, 2 years before our independence, the Shawnee and Mingo tribes fought the West Virginia Regiment and lost. They were fighting for the land. The West Virginians were invaders, and so that's what they were doing. The West Virginia invaders were led by Colonel Andrew Lewis. It's not known as the Battle of Point Pleasant. The Shawnee chief principal was named Chief Cornstalk, and he after the battle they lost and retreated.
Of all the cool Indian names,
Cornstalk?
Chief Cornstalk.
Well, he seems to be pretty cool though.
Okay.
Like, yeah. So in 1777, 3 years after the Battle of Point Pleasant, which they lost, Chief Cornstalk and his son went to Point Pleasant from where they had retreated to negotiate a deal with Colonel Lewis. When they got there, he and his son were kidnapped and murdered. Upon his dying breath, he put a 200-year curse on the town, which seems that it would have expired in 1977. So I guess it's cool now. Mothman has been spotted over the years. Most recently, I gotta look that up. Sorry, I hate emails. So, no, I email it to the Higher Minds thing, so I'm gonna look that up there.
At highermindspodcast at gmail.com.
Yep, that's where. Oh, yep, that's where you can get us. So, the sighting started in around 1966, and the last sighting apparently was in 2017. The Mothman.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
Point Pleasant has always, well, at least for the last several hundred years, been known as kind of a doomy place. Mothman sightings precede bad omens. It's happened several times over the years. It's the the sightings themselves, I'm not going to get into each individual sighting, but they're so varied and similar and from disconnected sources that I myself want to go take a camping trip out to this place and check it out. The movie that I rented on Vudu, the documentary is really descriptive and shows there's this one building where the Mothman it lives. I think the building is still there. So the Mothman, let me describe it. About 6 foot, 6 to 6.5 feet, I think is what it said. It's a big furry creature. It's been described as having dark hair, gray or black. It's usually seen at night. I think I read there was one sighting during the day, so they appear to be nocturnal. And its eyes glow red, which also suggests, well, when the light hits it, so which also suggests that it is evolutionarily nocturnal as well.
Does he fight crime at night?
Maybe.
Is it
It's a
man-bat?
possibility.
You know what? Maybe. And if he is, he's the type of hero that he fights crime anonymously, so we would never hear about it.
Right.
Maybe Mothman is a hero. Maybe not, because he does precede Doom. So let me tell you about the area real quick. It was originally inhabited by the Shawnee and Mingo tribes. In 1774, the Shawnee and Mingo tribes went to war with the West Virginia Regiment and lost badly. They retreated, and their leader, Chief Cornstalk, negotiated a treaty that sealed the peace. To this day, there is a mass Native American grave in the vicinity of the McClintock Wildlife Management Area. I'm not sure of the specific location. I think that's on purpose. The loss happened in 1777. 3 years later, in 1774 was the battle. 3 years later, in 1777, Chief Cornstalk, who was the principal chief of the Shawnee Nation, and his son, he's cereal man. Anyway, he and his son went to Point Pleasant, West Virginia, to negotiate a deal with, or negotiate another treaty with Colonel Andrew Lewis, who was the leader of the Western Regiment. Upon arriving in Point Pleasant, he and his son were kidnapped and murdered by the soldiers. On his dying breath, Chief Cornstalk put a 200-year curse on the town and the people. And it seems to have lived up to its name. And there's all sorts of weird strangeness there. For instance, you might have heard of the Mothman Prophecies starring Richard Gere and Deborah Messing.
Mm-hmm. I watched that years ago.
Yeah. That is the most recent iteration of it. Because before, when it was first cited in 1913, it was called a Birdman, but somehow it evolved to Mothman. And in that movie, it tells the story of the collapse of the Silver Bridge over the Ohio at Point Pleasant and Gallipolis. In it, 46 people died. And, but, continuing on with this, in 1937, there was a spat of Mothman sightings, and there was a flood. In fact, between 1913 and 1937, the Ohio River flooded 4 times and killed hundreds of people and cost hundreds of thousands of dollars in damage, which for the time is lots of fucking money. The early 20th century rumors started about a bizarre Birdman, which is about 50 years earlier from the most recent sightings, which started in 1966. So let's talk about the McClintock Wildlife Area, which is where the most of the activity is centered. It's today known as locally the TNT area. That is because it was a munitions manufacturing facility. It was called the West Virginia Ordnance Works. It was 8,000 square acres, and it was in operation from 1942 to 1945 until after World War II. After that, it became a chemical dumping ground. Eventually, it was handed over to the state as a wildlife refuge. So they poison the land and then turn it into a wildlife refuge. I'm not sure about that. That sounds weird. It results in large birdmen.
Sounds like a cover-up.
So on November 2nd, in 1964, Woodrow Derenberger was accosted on I-77. What happened?
What
Let me
happened was...
Let me get back to the movie real quick. In the movie Mothman Prophecies, Richard Gere plays a reporter that goes to report about the sightings, and then ends up being a part of the crash. I don't know.
Fucking
okay.
spoiler alerts, dude.
No, it's not. No, it's a pretty obvious movie, and it's it's 15 years old. You'll see it.
It's got to be more than that.
You know, Bruce Willis was dead the whole time. So in the movie, Richard Gere's character, the reporter, does get in contact with what he thinks is the Mothman. The Mothman identifies himself as Ingrid Colt. That came from this report from Woodrow Derenberger that on I-77, a UFO, like a cylindrical UFO, kind of forced him to stop on the highway and came down, landed in front of him. Door slid open, and a man came. I think he said, "Man."
Wait, so the Mothman has aliens in it now too?
Yeah. For those of you who can't see, I'm gesturing furiously to yeah, hold on, I'll get to that. So anyway, this guy talks to Woodrow Derenberger telepathically and identifies himself as Ingrid Cold and proceeds to ask him a bunch of bizarre questions that wasn't reported because he forgot what the questions were. That's all he remembered. So the same types of things happened over the years. And there's floods, there's fires, there's there's a lot to it. And we only have so much time here, but that's basic. That's what's going on with Mothman.
How big did you say he was?
6 feet with at the biggest report is 12-foot wingspan. So in 2017, Mothman sightings began again. This time in Chicago, Illinois.
Is this the first time, only time he's been spotted outside of that area?
I believe so. I actually was kind of under the impression that it was only in Point Pleasant, because that's really... They have actually the Mothman Museum there.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll post some pictures of what they have, like a whole statue and stuff devoted to Mothman. But anyway, so this happened in Chicago, Illinois. Lon Strickler, owner of the website Phantoms and Monsters, collected 55 reports from the Chicago area during that period. Further investigations uncovered Mothman sightings around Lake Michigan dating back to 1981. So
no.
Obviously not just Point Pleasant.
Yeah.
But that's where Point Pleasant originated. Or that's where the first idea, or this first sightings of Mothman. And it's where the most common sightings are. There's been hundreds of sightings. The reports describe a large winged humanoid with a face of some kind and glowing red eyes.
A face of some kind.
Yeah, it's not. It doesn't appear to be humanoid. It doesn't, or a human face. It doesn't appear to be a bird. It's not. It's a face.
It's a new face.
There's something there, but you're not. It's not a dog face. It's a person face. Nobody knows how to describe it.
Okay,
That's weird.
It's a Mothman face. You know what a Mothman looks like?
Looks like a Mothman.
Yeah.
Has some kind of face.
Yeah, it's there.
I'm still thinking it's Batman just jumping around at night. Looking, but it's really moth. It's really a moth. So
I've seen some drawings, some witness drawings, and it kind of looks like a furry man with imagine a man without his head or neck and replaced by an owl head, but it's also covered in fur. No beak.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why don't they just put out a big spotlight and let him run into it?
That'll work. When we go on that cryptid trip, we should try that. I'm not sure that's been tried. That's a good thing.
That's his.
like one of those great big searchlights.
That's his bat signal. Except he runs
He
into
just
it.
runs face first into it.
So it's got glowing red eyes. But it's not like glowing red eyes. It's reflective red. Well, I guess this says glowing red eyes, but I think they're trying to describe reflective red eyes.
Similar to how like a dog's eyes reflect.
Or a cat's.
Yeah.
Oh.
Or any nocturnal animal.
Yeah.
Like that's a physical structure that helps them see better at night.
Huh.
In fact, I looked that up. After everybody did that.
Are there pictures of it? I get.
Of Mothman?
Yeah.
Drawings.
Oh, drawings.
Yeah.
So there's no photographic evidence of
No.
Mothman.
Well, it's hard
at
to have like a camera on you that has a strong enough flash that's going to get him like 20 feet away.
Well, and apparently he's super nimble, super strong, can
Makes
fly.
sense. Yeah. Makes sense. He's a
But it has, you know what though? It has chased cars for miles at like 90 miles an hour, like multiple times. So I guess just not with anybody with a smartphone.
Huh.
And a lot of these sightings were a long time ago, before everybody had a phone in their pocket, I guess.
Yes, I would say
The majority of them.
99%.
Yeah.
I'm learning now that the last one's in 2017, which is
Oh, that's not
everybody
too
had a
long ago.
smartphone then.
Yeah.
Not everybody.
But it's West Virginia.
Tourists
And there's like
on there.
security cams too.
Not to shit on West
Like,
Virginia,
buildings have
but
security cams.
it is West Virginia. Maybe not everybody has an iPhone in their pocket.
West Virginians are lovely people, hardworking and industrious, which is the same thing.
Yep.
They're Appalachian. So it's described as either a bat-like or insect-like creature. The sightings match the original descriptions of the Mothman first seen in Point Pleasant. Now it seems like this creature or specter or hoax or guy with a jetpack. Like I said, it moves like it has a jetpack. It seems to be able to furrow and unfurrow its wings, but it doesn't use them for flight.
Or maybe he's just moving so fast that you can't see him.
Maybe.
Like a fucking hummingbird?
Maybe those wings aren't wings and they're like that collar thing on that dinosaur that spits shit. That killed
could be.
Newman.
It could be. Or it could be like an alien space suit, and it's just part of its energy system.
Solar panels.
Something like that.
Lunar panels, since it's a nocturnal thing.
Furry lunar panels.
Yeah. That's what it is. Settled.
Next.
You heard it here
next,
first.
Yeah.
Yep, that's what it is. Recent reports have come out of a very similar creature in Indiana on the same highway. Oh, yeah, that's another connection. It's all on 77. On the same highway that ran over the Silver Bridge, the Doom Silver Bridge in Point Pleasant, West Virginia.
77 doesn't run through Indiana.
Yeah, dozens.
Yep.
Yeah.
I used to drive truck. I know these things.
Well, and I'm well, no, I never touched 77.
I'm
Do you come here for accurate information? Well, anyway, it seems to be the same road. I don't know. The runs east to west, so I might have recorded I-77 wrong. No, because that'd be the one that goes over the Ohio from Ohio to West Virginia. It'd be north south.
Yeah. I-71 should do it too.
It's somewhere different, yeah, but yeah.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, 71 goes through Cincinnati.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and 77 runs through
Way east.
Akron, Marietta, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then
They
eventually
merge
Cleveland.
at some point. 77, 71?
No.
Oh. In Akron?
Nope.
What merges?
Route 8 and 77.
Okay. 8 is where they
And then
filmed the roadway or the truck fight in the Matrix.
I didn't know that.
On the truck roof fight? Do you remember what I'm talking about?
Which Matrix?
2?
Oh, that's why I don't remember that.
Maybe?
I've seen the first one a bunch of times, and like the
Maybe-
second
no.
two like once each.
Yeah, no, it's with the twins. Yeah, that's the second one.
Mhm.
So, according to Alon Strickler, who compiled the 2017 Chicago reports, the witness, identified by the initials TH, contacted him via telephone in January and described a sighting near Muncie, Indiana, just south of the Prairie Creek Reservoir. Muncie is just about halfway between Point Pleasant, West Virginia, and Chicago, Illinois. According to TH, the sighting occurred on December 26th, 2018. Oh, look at that. Even more recent. He and his wife were driving on US 35 when he saw a huge winged humanoid fly overhead, according to the report. TH is a military veteran, hunter, trapper, and farmer who lives in the immediate area. His knowledge of military flying craft, wildlife, and his keen sense of observance was apparent while I talked to him. The winged, this is from the voice of the reporter. The winged being that he was observing was unlike anything that he had ever seen before. The creature was flying just above the treetop level and was easily visible to the witness. His reaction was to slam on his brakes in wonderment, exclaiming to his wife, "Do you see that?" The wife was shaken by the sudden stop and was unable to react fast enough to see it, so he saw it, she didn't. TH stated that the being was humanoid in shape with an obvious face. The body had a length of approximately 6 to 7 feet, with bat-like wings that were extremely wide. The being was dark-colored and seemed to glide.
You might be onto something. Bat-like wings.
Yeah, see?
The being was dark-colored and seemed to glide at a steady speed. He never noticed the flapping of wings while watching the creature. That is pretty much the same description all over by everybody. Like, that's over and over, it was the same type of thing. The tiny things varied. Like, this is the first bat-like wing description I've seen, but I think maybe it was just in the dark. Every other description is furry. So,
interesting.
I enjoyed that.
good.
Yeah, from the distance.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
Because I hadn't heard that guy before, so it's like cool. Like you hear of other ones,
See, growing up in California, I wouldn't imagine you would.
I guess.
We grew up in Ohio. I
Did you
grew up in
hear
Ohio.
about that one though? Like
Yeah.
before he mentioned it. Have you ever?
I'd seen the movie.
Otherwise-
I'd only
Okay.
seen the movie. Like, I'd only heard it first in the movie.
Yeah, I had seen the movie and then read into it just a little bit from there.
But back to the Ingrid Cole thing, they do see in the movie and in reports, they seem to be conflating a few different phenomena. In fact, the Men in Black are common responders to sightings. A
We
lot of
should
people
do
have
an
been told to
episode
shut
on
up.
that. There's a lot
I'm
of
down.
good Men in Black.
I'm super down.
And yeah,
What?
the Men in Black.
You want to watch it? Is that what you said?
No, the real ones.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're scarier.
Watch. Sketchy shit.
I want to fight one.
Okay.
But yeah, so there seems to be a lot of just weird shit to be going on with that cryptid and in that area.
Mhm.
Point Pleasant specifically, Chicago, Illinois. I mean, you know what's up with that.
Yeah.
It's fucking Chicago.
Didn't they have a leprechaun? Was that Chicago that had the leprechaun?
Maybe.
Do you remember that?
You don't. What'd you do?
Anyways, my first one is Thunderbirds.
What the fuck is a Thunderbird?
Before we get to Thunderbirds, I want to break out the secret box that I brought.
I'm waiting for this.
Secret box, secret box, secret box. Pictures.
So,
Sure.
Secret box, secret box. That's a secret box song.
I wish I'd have thought this up. Well, I didn't even think this up. I saw something similar to this on Facebook,
Okay.
and I decided I need to make one for myself.
All right.
A couple 3 weeks ago, we did mythology.
We did.
I present
Oh no shit!
Bolmir.
Ah, Bolmir. Bjolmir? Does it have an umlaut? Please give it an umlaut.
It can have an umlaut.
It has an umlaut?
So, obviously, the people listening can't hear this right now.
God.
This is a toy Thor's hammer that I have modified so that you can smoke out of it.
So we're furiously taking pictures of it. Wait. Let's see. No. There. These pictures.
That was really
It's
good.
pretty impressive. It's
Yeah.
fucking 3 feet. 2 feet long.
It's an easy 2 feet long.
2 feet long.
Is this a toy that you just bought? And
This is like a Halloween toy
So it's
that I
plastic.
bought and modified. Yeah.
Have you?
There's
smoked out of it?
I have not yet. There's a carb right here.
what?
Wait. Point it out again. I didn't see it.
The carb is right
You
here.
can't even
Oh,
reach
that's crazy.
that. How are you supposed
Huh?
to?
You hold it with your left hand. My hand is just big enough to hold onto this
That's
hammer.
mighty.
Yeah.
Put your thumb over the
Oh,
carb,
Hey, only men can
and you
smoke,
can smoke out of it.
Yeah, I mean, am I
Only
worthy?
the pure of heart can smoke.
Do you want to take the first go?
I think you should. Is it packed?
Huh? Yeah.
Looks
That's what
pretty
I was
great.
doing while you were in the kitchen.
Where were you hiding that?
In this box,
it was
Oh,
disassembled.
okay.
Yeah.
I feel like that's something.
That lighter's terrible.
The old Bic.
You're just like smoking through plastic.
Oh, it worked.
It works!
Smoking Bjolmir.
Oh, we're having too much fun.
Good call, dude.
The dog can't handle it.
So did you... Is that the slider from the book? No.
Yeah, that's out of a bong. It's just a piece that I had laying around.
Damn! I will definitely.
Yeah, so back on topic. Thunderbirds are
Nice.
Native American legends of birds with up to a 20-foot wingspan, 20-foot plus wingspan, I'm sorry, that hunted humans.
Ooh.
So, big fucking man-eating birds. That's what a thunderbird
Fucking
is.
man-eating bird. Why thunder?
Because Indians like thunder
Dramatic.
things. Yeah. Actually, no, I'm stoned. I'm remembering why thunder now.
Why?
Their wings are so big that they sound like thunder when they fly.
Gotcha.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just stoned.
So, do they have any color?
Usually they're depicted as big-ass blackbirds.
Okay. Like they're birds with big black asses?
Yes. Big old booties on them. Legend says that thunderbirds are gods in the shape of a giant bird. Flapping its giant wings causes thunder, and they're said to be able to pick up children with their talons, carry them up, and eat them.
You say Boulder.
Yes. Your dog would be done.
Seems enough.
I mean, honestly, like, a medium-sized raven would be able to pick up your dog.
We're talking pterodactyl style?
Ish, yeah.
Okay.
Actually, through researching this, I got into pterodactyls too, so I was curious.
Oh, really? Okay.
Not nearly as big as you think they are. Yeah,
no.
pterodactyl's like a 4-foot wingspan.
No way.
Oh.
Yeah.
Mothman was bigger.
Yeah.
Tiny.
Yeah, pterodactyls aren't that big.
Interesting. I thought they were... I think I want to catch one now. They have big shadows, though. Because they're closer to the sun.
Sure.
What?
Physics.
In 2006, scientists determined that the Tong child, the remains of a human ancestor, was killed by an eagle or other big bird. The Tong child was a 3.5-year-old child. Marks on its skull indicate that it was killed by a bird.
Tong is the name of the area in which a dead child was found. An ancient child was found or some shit.
Probably.
Okay.
I didn't dig that far into the Tong child.
Okay. So it was killed by a thunderbird.
Yes. Like, well, an eagle or other big predator bird.
Eagle take a kid?
Have you
Oh,
seen
yeah. They
videos
pick up
of golden
deer.
eagles?
Right? You've seen those YouTube videos?
videos of
Australia?
golden? No, in like Mongolia.
They pick up deers, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
No.
yeah, they hunt wolves with eagles. Golden
That's
eagles are
fucking metal
big,
shit.
mean motherfuckers.
God damn.
Yeah.
Fucking, they're badass.
Yeah, golden eagles. They'll pick goats up off the side of a mountain, just drop them to their death, and then go down and eat
And
it.
then go eat them. Yep. That's what they do, man.
That's
nature.
hard fucking core.
Yeah,
Go fucking
yeah.
Animal Kingdom.
Golden eagles are badass.
I have to look that
Wasn't
shit up.
that Betty White movie?
What
Betty
Oh,
Betty
yeah.
White movie?
Yeah, but that picked up a tiny. I think it was a hawk, and it picked up a
Yeah.
tiny.
Golden Eagle was in The Rescuers Down Under.
Yeah, that's right. The kid would ride that eagle. Remember that?
Yeah. I thought it was made up.
Oh yeah, I do remember that now. God,
That's
I
one
haven't
of my
seen the
favorite
Rescuers
movies when I was little.
ever.
Yeah, I saw that I think I was in college.
God, you're
I'm
old.
just kidding.
In college.
I was, oh shit, I don't know, I was like 7 or something.
One of the more interesting Thunderbird stories I found was April 26, 1890. The Tombstone Epitaph published an article about
That's a horrible name for a fucking paper. Sorry, go ahead.
Tombstone
The
Epitaph.
Yeah, we're talking about everything dead. Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
Tombstone Epitaph published an article about gunslingers shooting at the Tombstone Thunderbird out of the sky. It reportedly had an 18-foot wingspan, and some reports say that
That's 3 of me.
that's a big damn bird.
Yeah.
Some reports said it had a reptile-ish head, almost pterodactyl-like, is what modern people interpreted that to mean.
Was it feathered?
It said it had like leathery bat-like wings.
Cool.
So, not feathered.
So, I mean, it's like an alligator.
Yeah. Actually, alligator is how they kind of described it. Like a winged alligator.
I meant like ancestrally. But
yeah. No. They did actually describe it as almost like a winged alligator.
Well, cool. That's terrifying. God, flying alligators?
A lot of the
Holy shit. That's like, can we
other reports that Thunderbird's a bird, but
that's
not
a big fucking deal. Now we got to be worried about fucking flying alligators. If we didn't have, as if we didn't have enough fucking to worry about, now fucking flying alligators. What the fuck is the world coming to?
I don't live anywhere near the Everglades or Tombstone, Arizona, so I'm not that worried
Tombstone
about it.
and the Everglades. Stay the fuck away from that. Just stay out of Florida altogether. We love people from Florida. What are these things?
Part of this article said, found on the desert, a strange winged monster discovered and killed on the Huachuca Desert. I probably butchered that one.
No, that sounded perfect.
Yeah, definitely Huachuca.
Yeah.
The quicker I say it, the better it sounds, actually.
Yeah.
Huachuca.
Yeah.
Resembled an alligator like we were just talking about. Extremely elongated tail, it says, and immense wings.
I imagine an elongated tail would be for balance.
Could be.
Yeah, directional.
Could be. You look at a lot of other flying things, they don't have big-ass tails on them, though.
Daenerys' dragons have big, long tails, and they have a little flap at the end. If you notice, it's for direction and attacking.
Who?
What's the last one's name? Drogon? Is that the last one?
I don't know.
That's the primary one, right? She's still riding her primary.
Who?
That's the big one, right?
Daenerys?
Who?
It's
Daenerys.
Game of Thrones, dude.
Who?
Game of
The
Thrones.
breaker of chains.
Who?
It's Game of Thrones, dude. Everybody knows this. So you're the only one else, so everybody's laughing.
Oh.
According to this article, and this was back when What the Fuck else was there to report on in Tombstone, so it might have been exaggerated. Was probably exaggerated.
Well, so when was it from?
1890.
So at the time, even politically, they would, everything was expected to be exaggerated.
Yeah. They reported it to be about 92 feet in length.
92 fucking feet.
Yeah.
Wait, a wingspan of 18 feet and 92 feet long?
Mm-hmm.
That's like Luck Dragon style?
Yep.
That doesn't sound...
They said it had an extremely long tail, but that seems way over-exaggerated. About 50 inches around, with a head about 8 feet long with sharp teeth. So this is one goofy-looking fucking animal.
This seems pretty noticeable, too.
Yeah, you would think so.
Especially if you shut it down.
The story
Daguerreotype back then.
said that it was, I think there were cowboys coming back into town, back into Tombstone. Saw this thing, it would kind of fly for a little bit and then land and rest and fly for a little bit and rest, and like it was exhausted from traveling.
93 feet, yeah.
So they kind of chased it down and then shot it down. So it was already exhausted by the time they had gotten to it. But it seems like the proportions are blown way out.
Bunch of fucking cowboy Sir Lancelot's going out to fight the dragon.
Yeah. Well, 2.
Sounds noble.
Yeah.
Just trying to fucking live.
I did get into the largest birds to reference wing size.
Let's go.
Like I said, these Thunderbirds are reported to be 20-foot plus wingspans.
I thought you said 18.
That's how big the Tombstone one was.
Oh,
yeah.
So more. Okay,
Yeah, in general, Thunderbirds are reported to be 20-foot plus. The wandering albatross is a seabird with a confirmed 8 to 11.5 foot wingspan.
8 to 11.5 foot. That's the longest, you said? That's the widest wingspan?
No, that's just the wandering albatross.
Okay, sorry. Yeah.
8 to 11.5 feet, confirmed. They're reported
That's Mothman style.
to have up to 13 to 17 feet wingspans.
Oh, wow.
But like I said, confirmed 8 to 11.5. That's the largest still living wingspan
Where do they
on
live?
Earth today. They're seabirds
Where?
in the sea.
All the seas?
Probably. They got big fucking wings. They can go wherever they want. The marabou stork is the biggest land bird with 10.5 foot confirmed wingspan and reported up to 13 feet.
Cool. Those are the ones that take the babies.
Yeah, those are the ones that deliver your babies.
Just if anybody was curious, it's a myth that the mommy and the daddy put their penises and vaginas together to start bringing the baby. That's the scientific fact.
Where did my lighter go?
Here's a lighter.
And then a lot of people reference condors instead of as being the biggest birds, but they're apparently not.
I've seen a condor.
The Andean condor is the biggest wingspan of the bunch, with a 10.5-foot confirmed wingspan. So
Indian
big birds, but not as big as the wandering
Where are
albatross.
the Andes? Switzerland?
No, that's the opposite. They're in Switzerland.
Yeah.
Andes, I think, are in like China, India. I think that's where Everest is.
South America.
So we're both fucking wrong.
I always got bad grades in geometry. Geography.
That's not cached.
H, I want to say I'm digging your elevation
My
tab.
merch?
Yeah, that's a
Take that out on a special trip today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last week.
Last week, that's right.
Yeah. That was up, but I like that one too.
Thanks.
Well, that's a
I need a new one. See, this is my
Leather
old
seal.
hat. This is my new hat, so...
That's why he had to get a new one.
Yeah, if you look at it, it looks
Oh.
like I need to...
oh,
It's a
I
little
dig it.
sun-faded and sweaty.
It's a little...
It's
yeah.
Yeah.
It was about time.
Loved.
It was about time.
I like it. I like them both. They're compliment your heads. How do you compliment a hat? Whatever.
That works. I'll take it. Thank you.
All right. Yes.
So the largest flying animal ever was a Quetzalcoatlus,
Yeah. Mexican, right?
wherever it wanted. Literally could fly across the ocean.
Oh wow.
It's there. I guess there's dinosaurs and then there's pterosaurs, I think is what they were. I can't remember, but they're flying dinosaurs basically. This Quetzalcoatlus was as tall as a giraffe, with a wingspan between 35 and 55 feet. Basically, a wingspan as big as a Cessna.
As tall as a giraffe.
As tall as a giraffe.
So it stood up like a stork.
No, it was almost like a quadruped when it was on ground. It would rest, bird wings fold the other way, right? But it would rest kind of on its elbows up front and its feet on the back.
It would ambulate that way.
Yeah, it could walk around like that. They think because it was so damn big that it would kind of rock back and use its wings, like off its elbows, to be able to launch itself into the air to get flight.
So I'm picturing something that looks kind of like a Pegasus.
No.
Gallop, 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 wings.
I will pull up a picture for you. And if you're listening to this...
I meant the motion, not what it looks like.
No, literally like a slingshot. It would rock back one time and then just launch itself. Like a sprinter coming off a starting line.
Like Neo.
I have more respect for birds today.
Not a bird.
It's a flying animal?
It's a... I think it was... I'm pulling it up right now.
It's a bird like a pterodactyl's a bird. Which is incorrect. It's a flying dinosaur, right? Is that what you're saying?
Pterodactyls were a type of these.
Or
Pterosaur. Pterosaur, not dinosaur. Pterosaur. Pterosaur.
So, do you know what dinosaur means? Its Latin derivation? Thunder lizard. Pterosaur. Do you know what that means? Earth lizard. Weird.
Here.
Why would you call the flying one the earth one?
Here's a picture of a Quetzalcoatlus next to a giraffe for you.
That's terrifying and beautiful.
Yeah. But you see how it kind of rests on its almost elbows?
So that sounds like a Spanish name. Or, not, sorry, Aztec name.
What?
Could be.
Quetzalcoatlus.
I could be pronouncing that completely wrong, too.
I think
Quetzalcoatlus.
I think you're right.
That's how it sounds to me.
That's what it's the way we pronounce it in this house.
So, yeah. Flying dragon giraffe creature with a 35 to 55 foot wingspan. Biggest flying thing ever.
I'm glad I know that. Thank you.
Yeah.
That was interesting. Like that one?
Did you guys want to see a picture of this?
Yep. Oh yeah, that's insane.
You can't see it, listeners.
No.
Look it up.
Just
We'll post it.
Google it. Quetzalcoatlus.
Or come to our website or our Instagram.
Okay.
How'd you find that one?
Huh?
Because I hadn't heard of it.
He Googled it.
It
We'll
was
take the middleman
a
out
real
of it for him.
thing. Yeah, it was a real thing.
But you
But
hadn't heard
Through
about
searching
this before.
Thunderbirds, I wanted to see what the biggest thing ever was.
All right. Yeah,
Biggest flying thing ever.
Yep.
So that rips up the little bit on Thunderbirds that I had.
Okay. Hey,
What-
do you know what the oh shoot, let me look it up. It was some army in India. Was it the Cambodian army? Cambodian army in the Himalayas. Guess what they found?
Yeti footprints?
They found Yeti footprints.
God damn it, I'm smart.
God damn. It's almost like you looked it up before.
Almost.
Like you had prior knowledge of this.
But you guys
Is it?
don't have any notes
So-
or anything. It's amazing.
I'm psychic.
It's Bjolnir.
Bolnir.
Bjolnir.
Is it Bolnir?
Yeah, I like Bolnir.
Bolnir. Okay.
Yeah.
Bolnir.
Because Bjolnir makes it, like, it reminds me of Buell motorcycles.
Whatever has an umlaut. That's. I would like.
You
to
got a
contribute
big
an
old
umlaut.
boner for
I
umlauts.
do. I love them. I spank it through.
Do you have any on you?
No.
Why don't you have an umlaut
I need to
tattooed
go-
on?
Yeah.
God damn. That's a good idea. Dot dot.
Just dots.
Brilliant. Look up a big dot.
Why do you have a
Art.
sideways colon? It's an umlaut.
You know what? Maybe I'll just spell out umlaut like
There you
correct. O-O-M. What's an umlaut?
So, what is your mystery cryptid?
Are we going to go there yet?
Yeah, I figured we
You
saved
want
the
the
big
big
one
one
for
first?
last.
Okay. So you have to keep an open mind for this one. I like this one.
So, we each picked a cryptid without the other one knowing.
And mine is... It's a stretch to call it a cryptid. Admittedly.
When you said that it had a song, I was pretty sure that was going to be a stretch.
Yeah. But it is... This creature was thought at one point to be a real person. Person. I'm talking about person now. I gave it that away. But thought to be real, but nobody's really sure. And
Is
kind
it
of now
fucking
we kinda
Santa?
know. God damn. God no. My cryptid is Alfred E. Newman. Familiar with Alfred E. Newman? Alfred
The
Newman,
Mad Magazine guy?
Mad Magazine.
Sounds familiar. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll try to describe him. The crooked-eyed, red-headed, big-eared, wide face, wide and short. I'll show you a picture. Wide, short face. I think he's missing a tooth, narrow chin, weak chin.
Remember Mad TV? Mad TV was the shit.
It was pretty good.
Way better than
Jim
SNL
Carrey.
at the time.
Yeah, but then I try to watch it now and I can't.
Oh no, I'll still watch like clips of Stewart and
seen
shit. And Miss Swan.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen him. I've seen that guy, whatever McDonald his name is.
Norm MacDonald?
Yeah. I've seen him do other interviews, and he just seems so ashamed of that show.
Norm MacDonald
MacDonald?
was SNL. Not
Okay,
Mad.
who's the McDonald guy from Mad TV? The tall guy, the guy that played Stewie.
Oh, I didn't know he was a McDonald. I honestly don't know what the
That
fuck.
guy's-
Oh, okay, yeah. Anyway, yeah, he seems ashamed of the
Really?
show. Yeah,
That show was
he's like, 'cause
great.
people are like, "Oh man, I used to crack up at that," and the guy's like, "Yeah, but you know when it goes too far, it's like it was always the same bit though, and I would laugh every time. I don't get it. I don't get why it's funny."
I don't know. I used to laugh my ass off at Mad TV though.
Oh yeah, me too, and everybody does.
So what about Alfred E. Newman is a cryptid?
So I looked him up a few years ago, and I wanted to know if he was like who the inspiration was, or if Alfred E. Newman was actually a person. And I'm looking at that. So Alfred E. Newman, his tagline is "What Me Worry." The history of him is so in 1954, Mad Magazine artist Harvey Kurtzman plucked a postcard from a bulletin board in a colleague's office that featured a boy or a man, couldn't really tell, with a goofy, gap-toothed grin, uttering the two-part fatalistic rhetorical question, "What? Me worry?" The image itself was not new. Kurtzman was familiar with the image as one associated with funny picture postcards in Times Square, penny arcades, and tour strips. After several minor appearances in the magazine, Norman Mingo's full-color reimagining of the postcard image appeared on the cover of Mad Magazine number 30 in December 1956, replete with a "What Me Worry" catchphrase, assuming his rightful position as a trademark and cover boy for Mad Magazine. But he came way before that. This is the original picture. Well, this is the original image of him.
Okay.
That's not the original poster. The original poster came from a dentist office, and the tagline under the picture said, "Didn't hurt a bit." But even before that, it was thought to have originated as anti-Semitic, anti-Irish propaganda.
Now that you say that, I can see the anti-Irish look.
Yeah, I had trouble like wrapping my head around the anti-Semitic part, but yeah, but it was news. It was used in Nazi posters, so that's where.
Huh.
I guess the Nazis didn't like Irish people.
Nazis didn't like a lot of people.
That's new information for me, though.
Yeah.
But throughout the years, he's bounced around for between political buttons, silly postcards, and ads for painless dentistry, like I said, the Nazis. But no one could identify the image that started it all, although some people suggested that the image evolved from a tradition of cartoonish and racist depictions of the Irish immigrants in the mid to late 19th century. Until now, the earliest known fully Newman-esque image has been the Kid, a member of a pie family who appeared in a print advertisement. Oh, so I think I might be incorrect. This is different information. I heard another report that it was the dentistry thing, but this is saying that they Atmore's mince meat and genuine English plum pudding. That ad that the picture I just showed you. The advertisement appeared in the New York edition of the Illustrated London News and McClure's magazine in 1895. John E. Hett, writing in the Journal of Madness, noted that this image was the first to standardize the clothing and contained the now famous missing tooth. He also suggested that the Kid may have been one of the most widely distributed Newman-like images of the 1890s, and as such may have been one of the most influential in the evolution of Alfred E. Newman. In her book Completely Mad, Maria Reidelbach wrote that dating from 1895, this is the oldest verified image of the boy. I was wrong about the dentistry thing. It was mentioned, but this is the earliest one. Accurate information, all up in here.
Oh yeah, that looks way more recognizable, actually.
The other one did too.
The tagline, though, in it is, "What's the good of anything? Nothing." Which is kind of like what me worry. It's just kind of a stupid, nihilistic thing to say.
Yeah. So 1895, you said?
1895.
Okay.
The Kid's features are fully developed in this picture and unmistakable, and the image was very likely taken from an older archetype that has been yet to be found. I have found the missing archetype. It says I have found the missing archetype. It is not an advertisement for dental services or pies. It is not an anti-Irish cartoon. Before he advertised pies and long before he became Alfred E. Newman, the trademark face of Mad Magazine. Alfred E. Newman, the trademark face of Mad Magazine. He was the face of the comic farce stage play, the blockbuster hit of 1894, The New Boy. The Los Angeles Herald, November 7th in 1894, reported in words that may have just as well have been intended for Alfred E. Newman that the comic red-headed urchin with a joyous grin all over his freckled face, whose fizz face is the trademark of the comedy, is so expressive of the rollicking and ridiculous that the New York Herald and the Evening Telegram have applied it to political cartoon purposes. It goes on to add more detail. This is actually kind of a long article that I didn't originally read entirely through. But that's where Alfred E. Newman came from.
So I think that's
my Mr. Cryptid.
Way the fuck not a cryptid.
I think your face is not a cryptid.
Let us know in the comments if the Mad Magazine kid is a cryptid animal. Or just a cryptid, because I didn't go animal either. I actually went humans as well.
Oh, did you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
What would you do?
But actual cryptids, not advertisements.
Well, your face.
Okay. All right. So, like I said, I went the human route too. The Acurinus. Acurinus?
May I see it?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, you read this word.
Very first word on it.
That was it.
Yeah, Acuanus.
Yeah. With an umlaut.
Acurinus.
Yeah. For those that want to call me out, it's Acurinis. They're an Amazonian tribe with blonde hair.
So, like, they're bought by Jeff Bezos, like Oompa Loompas.
Sure. They're called the quote-unquote White Indians. First sightings of them, or first sighting or encounter by Europeans at least, of these white natives.
Is this a common myth?
Huh? I just
completely
completely stumbled across this thing. I'd never even heard of this shit.
I've never heard of it either.
Yeah. First sighting or encounter with these white natives came in the 16th century from Spanish missionaries. These sightings inspired Percy Fawcett to explore...
Percy Fawcett. I love that name.
Okay.
Percy Fawcett.
Okay. These sightings inspired Percy Fawcett to explore the Brazilian Amazon, the region of Mato Grosso. H, you want to throw some Spanish on that one?
Mato Grosso?
Okay.
Mato Grosso.
It sounds way better than when I said it.
Is that Italian?
No, it's in the Amazon.
Oh, okay.
Portuguese? Maybe it's Portuguese?
Maybe.
Could be. Fawcett disappeared while exploring in 1925 and was never seen again.
Wow, okay.
That happens to a lot of Amazon explorers, from what I've heard.
They have big spiders there. They eat people.
They also have angry natives there.
They also have, God, I can't. Green. What is that movie? That horror movie? The guy that wrote Hostel.
Green Mile.
No.
Soylent Green.
Soylent Green. God damn it. Green
Machine. That was a thing.
That was a thing. Green Hornet.
So my grandparents had a green machine that was left over when my dad was a kid. And one summer I was too short to ride it, and then I had a growth spurt. And the next summer I was too tall to ride it, so I never got to ride the damn thing.
That sucks.
So the guy who played the Bear Jew.
Oh,
Yeah.
from
What's that guy's name?
I don't know what the hell his name is. I'm trying to think of what the hell the movie is. The shitty Tarantino.
Oh, that's Inglourious Bastards. Fuck you,
Yeah.
dude. That's awesome. Eli Roth.
Yeah.
He is also a major horror buff. He has a show, and he's a horror writer. Does very good shit. What I'm talking about is filmography. It's fairly recent.
Probably doesn't even have green in it.
The Green Inferno.
The Green Inferno.
Check it out.
What the fuck was that?
A party goes to like some college hippies go bring Christianity to an isolated tribe in the Amazon or some shit, and they get murdered the fuck up. Murdered and eaten.
What show? Movie?
The Green Inferno?
Green Inferno.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Okay. That's a movie?
It is.
What's it on? Do you know? Netflix, Hulu.
I don't know.
Okay. I thought you just watched this recently. That's why I asked.
Recently, yes.
I think I remember the previews. Yeah, they're all like covered in blood, or they're like blood. Yeah.
It's pretty good. I mean,
Yeah.
I love horror. I love gore. Movie gore. I hate medical gore.
Better than that Mel Gibson.
Apocalyptica? I
Yeah.
like that too. That was fun.
So
I don't like Mel
historically
Gibson.
inaccurate.
Oh yeah, but no, it was fun. It was.
It was, yeah.
I watched John Carter the other day.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's fun too.
Mm-hmm.
It's bad, but it's fun.
That's newer, right? Like last 5 years or something?
Yeah,
Probably, yeah.
It's a Disney movie.
We were talking about it a couple episodes ago.
I haven't seen it, but I remember it. Yeah.
Yeah, I came in like a couple minutes into it and missed the beginning, so I had no idea what the fuck I was watching. But I'm like, that was
You
decent.
just lost the whole movie.
Didn't really matter, did it?
He was already on Mars when I started watching it, so.
Barsoom.
Huh?
The locals call it Barsoom.
Okay.
And we are in Jasum.
Okay.
I know this because I watched it yesterday.
Where the hell were we? 1542.
In 1542.
Gaspar de Corvahala?
What?
It's another Spanish one.
All right, here's the word. Gaspar de Carvajal.
Why did you sound whiter than me reading that?
Yeah.
These are his accents coming out.
This is the Californian Mexican.
So in 1542, Gaspar de Carvajal,
I said it.
a Spanish Dominican missionary, described a tribe
Spanish
of...
or Dominican?
Huh?
Was he Spanish? Those are two different countries.
Yep.
Okay. Mixed.
Like a Mexican American, or an African American, or a Canadian American.
But no, it's always something American. It can't be any other country.
Okay. Well, in 1542, that wasn't the rule.
Okay. These changes.
He described a tribe of Amazonian women who were, quote, very tall and white, with long braided hair wound around their heads. Mysteries of Ancient South America by Harold T. Wilkins, written in 1945, compiled other reports of, quote, white Indians from the 16th to 19th centuries.
What do you mean by white? Like, can you give a better description? Like, white like you're white?
Yeah.
Or white
Like
albino?
white, like not South American looking.
Caucasian white.
White skin, usually blonde hair.
Could be albino though.
Well, probably not albino.
Yeah, what are the chances, right?
But it runs
Of an entire population being
But
albino.
it's a genetic thing. So
That's
they
true.
maybe have just bred.
I think they would be so inbred that they wouldn't survive, though, at that point. If the entire tribe was that. Because, I mean, albinism
big was
is...
There's
such a
new
tribe.
evidence that the South American and Central American populations were way bigger than what we
Yeah.
originally thought, too.
It could be a ginormous tribe.
Which
Like, they're
suggests
talking,
much
like-
more inbreeding.
Like, shit, tons of people down there. And these first waves of explorers and shit got them sick, went back home, come back 100 years later, and everybody's fucking dead. Except for what was there when they got there the second time. Yeah, they're talking like millions of people living in the Amazon at one point. They're using LiDAR to find temples and cities and shit like that now, too. In the Amazon.
We need to do something. We need to do an episode of that. Because, I've recently learned a little bit about that, too.
Mhm.
And their history is super cool and super intense. Like,
And
it's
we don't know much of it either, because it sounds like a shit ton of them died off.
well, but so we don't know as much as Western history, because you guys won. But what we still do know a lot more that's just not disseminated.
Well, that
There's
comes
a lot
from...
of information out there still.
It was a culture that apparently didn't write a whole lot of shit down, too. Just like a couple episodes ago, we were talking about Vikings, and we don't know a whole lot about them because it was a lot of spoken history. They didn't write shit down.
Yeah. They used taxes, and they used numerical systems, and they used
Who
they
is
did
that?
have documents and stuff for commerce and shit like that.
They who?
The Aztecs, the
Okay.
Incas, the South American ancient civilizations.
Yeah, they had carvings and shit, but it's not like how the Europeaners had books. Or even prior to that with the Library of Alexandria and shit, too. Like the Greeks and shit. That region of the world was just really good at writing their shit down.
Yeah. So that one dude burned it.
Yep.
Anyway.
Can you imagine how much information we lost? Like,
This month,
it's
I mean.
literally impossible to imagine what we lost.
Yeah. We should do something on that.
Yeah.
Do you know why it was burned? I forget specifically who, but it was a Muslim emperor who said that if it wasn't about Allah, it was blasphemous. Or something to that effect. You get more shit to say?
I got a lot more shit to say.
Let's hear it.
The New York Times published an article in 1925 of Alexander Hamilton Rice Jr.'s expedition to the Amazon that stated Rice encountered 2 Indians, quote, bleached white from the sun, but, quote, pure of Indian blood. So that to me means Indian features but white skin, which could go back to the albinos that we were talking about earlier. 2 of them...
It's highly unlikely that it's albinism as we know it.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're changing what you said.
No,
you're just making it more specific.
Yeah. I mean, it could be. I don't know the situation, but I just know that albinism is like a debilitating condition.
It can be, yeah. So 2 of these white Indians...
Unless you're the guy from Powder and then you have powers.
Fucking Powder.
How is that? That movie was fucking stupid. Fuck that movie. How has everybody seen it? Like, everybody knows fucking Powder.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, you got a point.
Yeah.
So 2 white Indians walk out of the forest to greet the expedition party. They went on to describe them as undersized and undernourished, and that their faces were streaked with pigments, but they were undeniably white. So I'm thinking probably like a war paint or some shit like that.
Okay.
They wore no clothes and carried bow and arrow tipped with poison. They had translators with them that could speak with these people and the explorers. So they knew that these arrows were poison tipped.
White, as in W-I-G-H-T, John and Daenerys just defeated them. Or W-I-T-E, W-H-I-T-E.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Is it
Hey,
white
this
or
one's real,
white?
guys.
The
We did this in the last episode.
white.
We should make this a recurring thing.
It's long-lived.
We all know that it's everybody but at this point.
So white Indians walk out, no clothes, arrows tipped with poison. When they were then given beads and handkerchiefs, they called out for the others who came out of the forest.
Wait. Who was given beads and... What?
Who the fuck is always given beads?
Who gave whom beads and stuff?
The explorers gave the Indians beads.
Okay.
Probably smallpox too.
Yeah.
That tends to be what they do.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Chemical warfares.
so they're given beads and handkerchiefs. They then turned and called the others out of the forest, where 20 men and 2 women, all of them white but Indians. So that's where the albinoism kind of gets shot down. There's no way that many people could all be albinos.
Yeah.
But they also spoke a common language because there was someone to translate, right? So it wasn't like they had their own language that no one knew.
Well,
It was likely a language close enough, is how a lot of those translator things work when they're contacting tribes and shit.
You didn't describe any real form of communication, verbal communication. You were just trading goods, right?
Well, the translators knew that they had poison-tipped arrows.
Poison.
Didn't catch the trade part.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Because if they're speaking a common tongue, then it's not like this tribe that, has just been out there and they've figured out their own language, Like all of these tribes.
Why not?
If they're derived from a common language, like a lot of language now is derived from Latin. Like we're talking early Spanish and Italian being similar.
Yeah.
Or unless the translator is the translator is a transplant that spends some time with them and learn the language.
Could be.
Maybe, yeah.
That could be. You join them and live with them for a little while. Another group is the Ache Indians. A-C-H-E with a little dash over top of it. They're a hunter-gatherer tribe from Paraguay. Early descriptions emphasize that they had white skin, light eye color, and light hair color.
They were in Paraguay?
Paraguay, yeah.
Isn't that a mountainous region?
I think so.
So, colder?
It's still South America, though, so can't be that damn cold.
Probably as far away from the equator as... We can look that shit up.
I'm not positive. I think Paraguay is like Central South America. Anyways, they white skin, light eye color, light hair color, and heavy beards. Some described them as having Asiatic features, possibly descendants of Vikings or shipwrecked Europeans. Some also said that they might be like an offshoot of Japanese somehow because of their facial features. So they had Asian-ish. They had Asian-ish faces, but were otherwise white.
So I just wanted to state the epicantic fold. What makes Chinese and Korean and Japanese people have that different eye shape? That actually originated in Africa.
Did it?
Yeah, it did. And if you go through and look at African epicantic fold, it's very obvious.
I've never even thought to look into that.
Yeah, I have slightly.
Ish.
So Paraguay is 23 degrees south. To give you a relation, Cincinnati is 32 degrees north.
What is 22 degrees north?
The equator?
No. What's the northern equivalent of that? Mexico-ish? No. Farther north than that.
That says China.
Well, that fucking narrows it down.
That's Paraguay, and that's
Mexico. That is fucking. I don't.
Not fucking important. So in 1996, they did a genetic study on these Ache Indians.
Ache.
Ache? Okay. They are genetically dissimilar to other South American tribes. So they're kind of their own thing. Which kind of leads a little bit of credence to being shipwrecked Vikings or Europeans or something.
Oh, that's totally possible. I didn't even
because we know for a fact that Vikings made it to Canada,
and they
at the time were the greatest sailors in the world.
Yeah,
they had gone everywhere from the Middle East to Canada, Russia, all through the Med, Northern Africa. Like they've been everywhere.
And between Scandinavia and South America is open water.
Yeah, it's not impossible that they could have gotten lost at sea and wound up there, or just followed the coast the whole way the fuck down.
I buy it.
Possible. Unlikely. Possible, though.
I wouldn't say it's even unlikely. I would say it'd be weird that it wouldn't happen at least once.
Yeah. I mean, as far as they sailed, it's completely possible they could have made it that far. Or if they were just earlier European explorers, like 15th century explorers.
Or the fucking weird mutation in Caucasians happened there too.
Possibly.
That made white people white.
Yeah. Yeah, but if that were the case, they wouldn't be genetically dissimilar from all the other Amazonians. They would have shared something along the way. They would have all come over the Bering Land Strait and everything.
Right. Yeah. Or the other way, but still they'd be dissimilar. But yeah.
So this 1996 genetic study showed that their genetics are genetically dissimilar from other South American tribes, but also that they show no evidence of any European or African admixture, which kind of goes back to them having Asian-looking faces, I guess. Maybe they came from the other direction.
Compared to a South American, I suppose a North Korean looks white.
Yeah. I mean, really, white people and Asian people don't have that different colored skin. White people tend to tan better, I think. I don't know.
Better? You think you tan better?
Asians seem paler than white people.
That's...
And I'm generalizing a whole lot here, because Asians are... Like, Indians are Asians.
Yeah.
Indian dots, not...
You're talking about the... What do you call the segment? That segment. It's got to be... It has to have a specific segment, right?
What segment are you talking about?
Sub-segment. The Asians that you're talking about. The ones that... North Korea, Japan...
the Asian-y Asians?
They're no more Asian than Pakistanis.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm talking about.
The Eastern Asians, I guess.
India's on the coast.
Eastern. I didn't say coastal.
On the eastern coast.
It's on the southern coast.
Southern coast. Okay. Yeah, I guess the Philippines are right there. Yeah. So I guess eastern?
Yeah. Northeastern, I guess, to be even more specific.
Genetic subset? Is that what we call it? Eastern Asian?
I don't know.
Okay. I don't know. We should... You know what? All of man's knowledge right there. Fuck it. I'm stoned.
So one last white Indian, white native group, and this goes back to what we were talking about with the albinos too. The Guna people, Guna people
Sounds like Guna.
of Panama have a high rate of albinoism and were nicknamed the White Indians in the early 1900s.
David Lee Roth is one of these, right?
Fuck if I know.
Panama! That's high kicks. David Lee Roth,
Yeah, I was just going to let you ride that one out.
I think I'm all.
So that wraps up the White Indians. It's interesting that we both picked not animal cryptids as our...
So are you suggesting they don't exist? Or that their existence is unsubstantiated?
There's reports of them, but there's no real,
So to this day, they're
photographic evidence or whatever.
We should go take pictures of them bitches.
You can go wander around the Amazon. I want to stay right fucking here.
I got a machete.
Okay.
That's all you need.
That don't stop you from getting malaria.
Mulder's eating 6 grown men.
Sure. Ever eat a panther?
I would. I bet they taste good.
So, let's get to the big one.
The big one.
Sasquatch. Bigfoot. Yeti. Skunk ape.
Skunk ape.
Name it.
That was my nickname in high school. It was racist. I didn't like it.
I'm pretty sure I had to do more with the smell than the race.
Well, no, it was both. It was very hurtful and racist.
Huh. It never even occurred to me that skunk could be racist for a half black, half white person.
I'm just catching that now, too.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. You fucking started it.
I thought that's why you were saying it was racist.
I was just going with the ape part, but yeah. Fuck you.
Did you not know that?
I mean,
we went to that way different.
I thought the same as you, though.
that was not nobody called me that. I was kidding.
Well, they do now.
Oh, we just did why we can't.
So, Bigfoot.
Yes.
That's probably like the most common
Nobody
cryptid.
knows that he wears a men's size 5. Big feet are very big. I made that up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who the fuck wears a 5? Is that even a size?
Tom Cruise?
Remember we were just talking about Tom Cruise earlier today? Yeah. How he always looks like he's running so fast, but you know he's a tiny guy, so how fast can he really be going? Not very fast.
So, Jane Goodall.
She's inspirational. I like her.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Never mind. Yeah.
Even, for those that don't know, Jane Goodall hung out with apes in the Congo, right?
Okay.
I think it was the Congo.
That's worth a Google.
Yeah. She hung out with apes somewhere in Africa, I'm pretty sure, the Congo. Specifically chimps, right? Or was it gorillas?
Gorillas.
Yeah, gorillas. So she's like a primate expert of sorts. Even she thinks Sasquatch could be completely possible. She thinks that there's enough uncivilized, unpopulated area that they could potentially be alive out
Who was
there.
killed?
Lots of people are
Gorillas
killed.
in the Mist. No, the other female primatologist.
Fuck if I know.
She's played by Sigourney Weaver. We'll get back to that.
Did a xenomorph get her?
What?
Huh?
What did you just say? Xenomorphigator?
Did a xenomorph get her?
Oh.
Damn, a xenomorphigator would be awesome. Fuck. Someone needs to draw a xenomorphigator. I want to see this shit.
Africa.
So, Jane Goodall.
Kenya Highlands.
Okay. Yeah. Primate expert thinks Sasquatches could be completely possible. What the fuck are you doing?
I'm looking up the other one, the one that died. She was murdered by the locals. Played by Sigourney Weaver. Readily saying her name. Diane Fossey.
Okay.
Did you mention... You mentioned a Fossey earlier.
Could have.
stoner.
I don't think so, though.
Yeah, you did. A man. Because I said I liked his name.
Percy something.
Percy Fawcett.
Percy Fawcett.
Percy Fawcett. That's even better. Anyway, did not die in Girls in the Mist. Please.
Percy Fawcett, I'm pretty sure, is the one that was killed in the rainforest, right?
Yeah.
Yep, disappeared in 1925.
Ooh, good connection. Fossey and Fawcett died in, like, the wilds.
Two unrelated people at vastly different points in time with slightly related names both disappeared.
Under similar
Bum,
circumstances.
bum, bum.
We gotta get to the bottom of that one. So, anyway, Jane Goodall believes that Sasquatch could be real.
Yeah, I saw a little interview with her. She was doing some talk show shit.
Okay.
Probably the most recognizable Bigfoot footage is the Patterson-Gimlin film. I assume you've seen this.
No.
Think Bigfoot, that's what you think. The one.
You mean the short clip of the old, grainy... Yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't that guy in a suit?
Wasn't
that a guy in a suit? Didn't they cop to that years later?
From what I've read, somebody who kind of had a grudge against Gimlin, maybe? One of the two.
The dwarf in Lord of the Rings.
Huh?
Oh, go ahead, sorry. Gimli was the name of the dwarf.
Gimli, yeah.
Okay. We are never going to get through this.
Gimli.
You're a nerd.
I had watched a thing, and they were talking about this Patterson-Gimlin film, and they had talked to a guy who had said that there's more film than what's been released. There's 30 seconds or whatever the fuck it is.
Why wouldn't there? Why would it be released?
Supposedly, there's more footage showing 3 Sasquatches total, and men shooting at them and killing one of them. Supposedly.
Where's the footage?
One person has this footage in a safe deposit box. The video I had watched said that the person who owns the footage, they get in contact with him, and said if they're ever in the area, he'll show it to them. Kind of calling bullshit on this whole thing, but maybe there's more footage.
It seems like there's no reason to not show everybody.
If it's people killing them, hunting them, whatever, if this is a real thing, I would imagine the government would want to cover that shit up.
Okay.
I assume that's the conspiracy theory take on that.
Why? Why would the government cover that up?
Why wouldn't they?
Because it doesn't look bad for the government. It doesn't cause any chaos.
It would cause panic.
Yeah, it would cause
anything weird would cause panic.
Something
look at
Bigfoot is actually
nowadays.
real, I think would have people freaked out.
So if that were the case, though, then the short clip would accomplish the same thing. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Unless they release just enough of it to have people question it.
What happened to the Bigfoot? I don't know. There's a lot of questions, but please continue. I want to learn more.
Mount St. Helens. You're old as shit. Do you remember that?
No. Was I? No, it was like 81.
I love the way
It was 1980.
Oh, okay, 80. What? I was born in 80, so...
Okay.
No, I don't remember it.
Okay.
I remember that it happened.
Mount St. Helens erupted in 1980. Killed tens of thousands of animals, elk, bear, 40,000 salmon by themselves. Just salmon. There are 47,000... 40... Jesus. 40,000 salmon killed.
Damn. That's...
Supposedly, I had seen something. It was, I think it was National Guardsman, if I remember right, was telling a story that it killed, several Sasquatch bodies were found after the eruption as well.
So where's that evidence? Why wouldn't they show anybody that?
Well, if that's military, they're obviously not going to show anybody that.
Why would the military cover that up?
Why wouldn't the military cover that up?
What benefit? Why would they benefit from covering up? Just because you come here for facts, and we're very strict about it. Mount St. Helens is in Washington.
Yeah.
I was going to pronounce the name, but it looks fucking Swedish, so I don't fucking know.
Oh, what's that?
Okay, I should probably give it a go. Actually, it's easy. Stratovolcano. It is a stratovolcano. Skamania.
Those sound like real facts to me.
Yeah, Skamania County, Washington.
Can you hear me face palming right now?
Yeah. I can feel it. I think your neighbors can probably feel it.
So, supposedly, several Sasquatch bodies were found too. They're then loaded into trucks and taken away by the military, who was clearing out all these dead bodies.
I mean, I suppose if they're covered enough. Well, I don't know. I would think aliens were a bigger threat to order than the Sasquatches, but I do believe that.
I think if it was 100% confirmed that there's Sasquatches living in that area, you would have every redneck within a couple 100 miles up there hunting them, trying to be the first one to bag them.
I don't think the population hunting them would change much.
If I knew there were Sasquatches for sure right up the mountain, I would be up there tomorrow with a rifle.
Why?
If you were the first one, to bring one back, you could guarantee anything you wanted. You'd go down to the history books. Everybody would know you. You'd be a fucking millionaire overnight.
I think if you shot one, you'd be probably a pariah.
I think it's important to mention that
but if you found one, yes.
In Red Dead Redemption 1, you do kill a Bigfoot.
Oh. I haven't played that one. So, damn.
Yeah.
There's a Bigfoot in GTA 5 too.
Oh,
I haven't seen it.
I have played that.
It's not a real Bigfoot.
So
it's a guy in a suit.
They packed up Yeti bodies.
Yeah.
They're not Yetis, right?
Yetis
is a different region, right?
Similar but different, yeah.
Yetis are also abominable snowmen.
Sure. This guardsman had reported seeing one with burns alive and walking around as well.
Well, that's horrifying. That would be scary.
You know the smell of burnt hair, obviously.
Yeah.
I can't imagine. Everybody knows what the smell of burnt hair smells like. I can't imagine a burnt Sasquatch. How bad that would smell.
They don't bathe. Just from what I hear. Yeah, that'd be burning Sasquatch. That'd be almost like a burning white bear, right? Like with blue eyes and everything. Just stuff the burning sword into it, gets on fire.
Yeah.
Is this more nerd shit?
Oh yeah.
So it is.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah.
Really digging this one in.
Don Darien died? No, that's not his name. No, sorry. Go ahead.
Who?
No. Yeah, Don Darien. That was his name.
That stopped being funny like halfway through last week's episode.
It's not going to stop. Big buddy.
It's fucking nerds. I can't wait till that terrible show's over.
It's terrible. You've not seen a minute. It's such a good show.
I have attempted to watch it. It's awful.
The show we saw at the International Church. Game of Thrones is so much better.
The show we saw.
No, I can't say that because that was a really good show there too.
Why would you say that?
Huh?
Why would you say that?
No, it was a good show. I immediately regretted saying it. Sorry. All right, but Game of Thrones is fucking good. Anyway, Sasquatches.
I mean, the guys there were talking about Game of Thrones too.
Sasquatch.
So, yeah.
Yeah, we got off the pro wrestling topic pretty quick with them too.
Oh yeah.
You guys fucked it up. You had something I knew something about, and you went straight to your nerd shit.
Sorry.
I wanted to argue
digging around in that
why Macho Man was better than the Ultimate Warrior.
You know what? I want to know
that from me.
Why is that?
Because he's the Macho Man.
Because of his name.
Because the cream of the crop rises to the top. I bet there's like one person that gets that reference.
You know what makes him.
Macho Man cut the best promos ever.
Yeah, okay. Alright, you won. I agree.
Did you have anything on Bigfoot?
My contribution was the Yeti found in Cambodia. What was it?
Was it Cambodia? I thought it was India.
Military finds Yeti. India.
Okay.
In the Himalayas. They were measured 38 inches, or 81 by 38 inches. That's a giant fucking foot.
Wait, what? That's a footprint? 81-inch footprint?
That's what it said. Right there. I will look it up again.
That can't be
Yeah,
right.
that's what it says.
81-inch stride,
The
maybe.
Guardian?
How many
The post
fucking
added
feet is
that the
81
prints
inches?
measured 81 centimeters.
That makes way more sense.
Jeez.
Fucking metric.
Sorry, 32 by 15 inches, though. That's still
Oh, okay.
fucking giant.
That's a 3-foot foot.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm saying. Pretty big. That's more than Shaq, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know that. I'm not gonna look that up. I don't fucking care.
So the reason Sasquatch and all the related cryptids is interesting is because of a real life animal that lived thousands of years ago, tens of thousands of years ago.
Okay, not human?
Not human, no.
Well, no. I think the first humans were 20,000 years ago, but could have been human.
Gigantopithecus is known to have lived as recently as 100,000 years ago.
That sounds like an erectile issue. But
Anything
the other way?
giganto-erectile
Yeah.
probably is
The
an
other
issue.
Yeah.
It would be an issue.
Yeah.
Fucking three-legged. You get tired, you just lean over on it, though.
Tripod. Austin Powers, right? Mini-me.
Yeah, so Gigantopithecus lived as recently as 100,000 years ago.
What era was that? Do you know?
100,000 years ago?
Yeah.
There were humans then.
100,000 years ago?
Yeah.
Sure about that?
Yeah.
I thought humans were 20,000 years ago. Or at least.
You gonna Google this?
Yes.
Okay. I can't wait for the I told you so.
Are you talking? Sorry, are you saying humanoid or like modern day human?
Like Homo sapien. Maybe Homo erectus. Probably Homo sapien.
Yeah.
What is it?
I was off by a degree of 10. Or a degree of magnitude. It's almost 200,000. So I got that wrong.
Told you so.
Yeah. It's marked.
You guys got to make a sound effect for that.
Yeah, lived in the same time and region as several hominid species. That's us. Including Homo erectus.
We're one of them.
Yes. And you just said Homo sapien, too?
Yeah.
Yep. They're found in what is now India, Vietnam, China, Indonesia area. They stood roughly 9.8 feet tall and weighed between 1,100 and 1,300 pounds. So a 10-foot, 1,200-pound orangutan, basically.
I mean, how humanoid were they? How like Homo sapiens were they?
They weren't from that same branch. They're most closer. Jesus Christ. They're most closely. Why the fuck can't I say closely?
Grocery?
They're most closely related to orangutans, actually.
They didn't stand upright?
They can stand upright, but just like gorillas and shit, they would walk on all fours when necessary.
Gimlin? Is that his name?
The film guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are we saying those look like those?
You could make the connection on how you might mistake one of those for those. This is also 100,000 years worth of evolution in there as well.
So what I'm getting at is how
It is
mythical giants.
It is
what I'm getting at.
known fact that our ancestors encountered a 10-foot tall ape in our history. It's very possible that we have handed those stories down generation to generation, and that's what has become Sasquatch. If there is no more Sasquatch now, it's possible that through Native American tribes, because Sasquatch is huge with different tribes, it's possible that those stories have been handed down and it's just evolved into what is now Sasquatch.
Well, as you said, there was several different types of very unique humans. So
Yeah.
like very uniquely different humans. I should
Right.
say.
But we know it's completely possible, at least at one point in history, to have a ape creature at 10 feet tall. So it's not completely impossible that we could have a 7 to 9 foot ape creature now. Possible. There's a history to go off of.
Okay, I'm open to it being true.
Yeah, and it's likely, I don't want to say likely, it's possible that these Gigantopithecus or their descendants could have crossed the land bridge at the same time humans did and made their way through Alaska into Canada and into North America. And if you look at where these sightings are most common in the Pacific Northwest, that's exactly where they would have ended up.
Well, if they moved along at the same time, it's reasonable to think they would move everywhere that the other humans did.
The Pacific Northwest makes more sense than, say, the plains, just for the sake of food.
And body structure.
Yeah. Because the Pacific Northwest can support large animals, obviously. There's bears and shit up there.
What about up in Canada?
Oh, Canada, it's even more likely.
Yeah, it's a lot of it is more like Washington.
Yeah. And it's less populated, even still.
Is it like per acreage?
Probably.
I don't know.
Just
I believe
the size of
I'll
Canada,
look.
the size and population of Canada, they're bigger than the U.S. with a way smaller population.
Is your population smaller? I don't know that.
Oh, yeah.
Believe it. But no.
Yeah, the U.S. has a way higher population than Canada.
Okay.
And they have way more land mass up there.
Fact. We said it. We are diligent.
Sure. Yeah, so there's large mammals up there, bears and moose and elk and whatever. So it's possible that an animal that size could feed itself off the land up there.
Oh, I mean, yeah, sure.
You get farther east and south, like there's sightings all over the country. And it becomes less likely, in my opinion, that something that size, just judging by what the other wildlife in that area is, could survive.
So so we're suggesting its behavior, if insofar as we can speculate, is that of a ground monkey?
The Indians had names, land ape, I think is what they called it.
So, okay. They are...
You guys from California, there's all kinds of ape-named things in California, too. There's like Ape Canyon and there was a couple. I watched a thing that listed a handful of these things.
So, what I'm getting at is one of the reasons that humans evolved the brain that they did is because their relationship with meat.
Yes.
And I'm assuming that what we think of if they exist, the Sasquatches, they are less. Their brain is less evolved than ours, which would suggest a pretty long, in their history, sustained vegetarian diet.
They're
Giving credence to
suspected to be omnivores, much like bears. I've seen it, or not seen, but heard and watched things saying that they're known to club deers.
Jesus.
Like they'll take tree branches and club a deer or whatever.
So are they more closely related to apes then? How have we never seen videos of them like on all fours? Why are they always like upright and walking?
There are videos of them running on all fours actually. There's one I watched. They think it might have been injured, but it's like a dad watching his kid sled ride, and they're over here. But there's like more mountain up this way, right? And he's obviously watching this way. But in the distance, you can see 3 bipedal things running across this ridge. One of them kind of trips and then almost like bear runs from there.
So it's not their natural mode of mobility?
I think the common consensus is that they're a bipedal animal that can run on 4s.
Which is, Harry and Henderson's, that's what we think of.
Yeah. I mean, we can run on 4s.
Okay, I don't think I can.
Sasquatch typically have longer arms than we do, which would make it easier.
Their limbs are proportionally longer than ours, right? Like they're the same length of long.
They're taller, obviously.
Yeah.
But
are their arms more like apes?
I think their arms are more like apes, from what I've researched.
Okay. I have no evidence to suggest otherwise.
I don't know. I'm by no means a Bigfoot expert, but I did kind of go off the deep end watching shit when I was researching this.
You are our resident expert.
I got stuck in YouTube world where you just keep clicking on the next video and shit, and I watched way too much Bigfoot shit last week.
What made them evolve to being on 2 legs then?
What made us evolve to being on 2 legs? To see over things.
And greater agility to hunt and gather, bend over and farm, and we're more versatile this way.
See, I thought of more of Sasquatch less as an ape and more of just like a caveman.
Yeah.
No, there's
I picture it as well.
Definitely
Like, yeah, I get their hairy,
more ape-ish
but I
from
feel
the
like
depictions.
they're more humanoid.
Okay, so what I think she's saying is I think that the hairy aspect, the visual nature, is you're lending that heavier to being ape-like than you should. But other than being hairy, it's more humanoid or human-like.
A lot of reports, people call them orangutans or gorillas or whatever. They have very
from like short flashes of observing.
From what I've read and everything, they have very ape-like faces, very ape-like behavior with their yelling and whooping, and they do something where they bang sticks on trees and wood knocking. It's wood knocking, which I guess are all things that apes do in the wild. So while they have humanoid-ish bodies, they behave more ape-like.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yes. Yeah. I got it.
Okay.
That's a good explanation.
With their footprints, that seems to be like the biggest Bigfoot. When you think Bigfoot, you think footprint. Like evidence of Bigfoot, I guess. You think the Patterson film.
Is in the name.
And you think the footprints. They're flat-footed with no arch, which is supposedly better for walking barefoot over rough terrain. They have something called a mid-tarsal break, too. Which
the top and bottom are separated.
Is that what mid-tarsal means?
I believe so.
Okay. That I didn't look into.
I am going to actually look that up.
What a mid-tarsal break is?
I could be wrong. The mid-tarsal break was first described in this journal nearly 75 years ago to explain the ability of non-human primates to lift their feet independently of the rest of the foot. No, I'm sorry, lift their heel independently of the rest of their foot. Since the initial description of the mid-tarsal break, the
Nope, not gonna try.
I will give this a shot. Calcaneocuboid, yeah. Joint has been assumed to be the anatomical source of this motion. So
their foot bends, but it doesn't have an arch in it, is what that means then. Because they're flat-footed with no arch.
It does this.
Yeah.
It stays perfectly flat in the front and lifts completely up from the ground and the back.
Interesting.
We can kind of do that, but not really.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's more because our toes are so flexible, is how we're able to...
Yeah. Which helps for speed.
Yeah.
Over flat land.
Yeah. Yeah, but I guess not having an arch in your foot makes it easier to walk over rough terrain barefooted.
I think tires.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, wider footprint. Some of the things that could suggest that there's a large animal living out there that we haven't caught or killed or got decent video of or whatever. The mountain gorillas went completely undiscovered by Westerners until 1902. That's a big fucking animal just hanging out in the forest that we had no idea even existed.
So, sure, I absolutely believe that there are still many species that are obvious that we just don't know about.
Mm-hmm.
The difference between Bigfoot and the mountain gorilla is we weren't looking for the mountain gorilla.
Well, there were reports of something up in the mountains that we weren't looking for.
It's not Bigfoot.
Giant pandas are another one. There are paintings of giant pandas in China, the black and white ones.
Yeah.
But they're still kind of like a mythical animal kind of thing.
It's because they learned kung fu and beat the shit out of snakes.
Westerners had never seen a giant panda until 1916. So that's only 100 years ago
But
that we found a fucking bear.
Giant pandas come from China.
Mm-hmm.
And China is notoriously secretive from the West. Like, do you think that contributed?
I think it's more likely that it's just such a vast expanse of wilderness.
Whereas
because we had been
trading the Chinese,
we Westerners had been trading with the Chinese since what 1600s ish. No, probably earlier than that.
Earlier than that,
yeah.
Crusades were 1100s.
Yeah,
established way before that.
Yeah, yeah. So we had communication with the East. We Westerners had communication with the East.
Marco Polo,
and I
think he was the first Westerner to.
We're communicating with him and trading with him and everything, and in that region, and it still took us until 1916 to see a panda. I'm not saying Bigfoot's real, but it's possible that something that big could be hiding. Still undiscovered. We didn't know giraffes were a real thing until fairly recently.
What? They're pretty prevalent in Africa, and Africa's been being raped for centuries.
Okay, Google. When were giraffes discovered?
15 million years ago. According to Animal Corner,
the
giraffe's ancestors first appeared in Central Asia about
that's
15
when they
million
came
years
about.
ago.
When the fuck did we find them? Shut up.
We've always just, instinctually had the knowledge of giraffes.
For 15 million years.
Yeah. For 195,000 years ago. We just were born with that knowledge.
Is that when Homo sapien came about? Is that why you picked that? Okay.
Yeah. I keep on saying 1.5 million years. Or 15 million years. I don't know. I can't find that.
Here it is. The 18th century naturalist Carluso Linnaeus provided the first scientific description of a giraffe in 1758. Using a Nubian giraffe, one of the now defunct species, as a model.
So America was America. Yeah, that's pretty recent.
Well, America wasn't America. 1758. America was still a colony.
Oh, I was thinking... Sorry. I thought for some reason...
Yeah, so fucking giraffes we only discovered, 300 years ago? Not even. It's plausible that a large animal could be living
all about giraffes.
This is just documented by Westerners. This goes back to Europe is better at writing shit down than the rest of the world seems to be.
Okay, so taking that context, then Westerners are living in a Native American, which actually adds to the lends more evidence to the Native American legends of Sasquatch.
Yeah, and there's a lot of legends that go along with it, and
Native Americans not being a part of Western culture.
Right. Yeah, they're their own little thing.
Although they are the original OG Western culture.
They're like the Western. Because Europe is Western for the old world, and then there's a whole new Western.
Yeah.
Did you have anything to add to this?
No. Any new sightings? What's Sasquatch meat taste like?
I would imagine it's probably a little gamey. I would imagine somewhere along the line of bear.
I need a bear. don't think I wouldn't eat anything humanoid.
That's
That's
what
right.
my
I
question was.
might have had black bear years ago. I'm not positive.
So you're all cannibals.
No. Like, if it looked like a human, no.
Yeah, I can't.
I don't
eat
think
a
I would
monkey.
eat it
I mean,
anyways. Even if it was
what's
like
the
a
situation?
monkey, I don't think I would eat it.
No,
Yeah,
gorilla.
you're
I would-
about
no.
to die.
Am I in the middle of nowhere and that's my only source of meat? I'm eating it.
Oh, I mean, I'll eat human if I'm that hungry.
Yeah.
But
So weird.
And
shit. Have you ever been
the
that hungry?
key to eating
People
human
have been that hungry.
is to eat the
That's what
human
happens.
before you're both starving. Because if you're both starving, the human you eat has very little nutritional value, and you're going to die anyways.
Nope.
So, like,
I got that.
day 3 of being lost in the wilderness, I'm killing one of you.
Fuck you.
Jeez.
We'll go there for a night.
Well, at least now we know.
You got 48 hours to get us
Kill
out.
him first before he goes up.
Yeah, no. If I'm going to eat a human, I have to be that hungry. Like, I don't want to. I
You
will
need to
fight it.
Why are
but
you
that's
mentally
way-
motioning towards Kay like she's the first one to go?
Because I get it. I get what he's saying.
Like, if I'm going to eat a human...
You're not going to willingly choose to kill somebody. You're going to have to go out of your mind and be
Yeah.
crazy in order for that to happen.
But who
knows?
I accept going there if that happens.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe that would happen.
Thank you. Good explanation.
See, that's why we understood.
I don't want to.
I think I'm eating one of you two.
Good luck.
Which one of you two's bigger?
I think I weigh more than you.
I don't know.
You probably got more muscle on you.
I was going to say,
I'm
how
eating you
lean
first.
do you want to
Yeah.
But
have your meat?
Yeah, I'm thinking Darby has the most meat on him. You're the tallest, you're the most muscular.
Well, he's the tallest, but yeah, I'm probably the whitest. With the D. You're the whitest.
Whitest.
White. Not white. That's different. They're blue eyes.
What?
It's true.
Okay.
cool quick.
That was good. That was good.
Too bad you're not on
Yeah.
the mark.
Can you do that on command?
Not on command, sorry.
Anyway. No, I don't. No. You know more about it than I do.
Yeah, I went a little off the deep end on it.
Which I appreciate. I learned a lot. Now I know all I want to know about Bigfoot.
I bet I have watched hours of Bigfoot shit on YouTube over the last week.
Sweet.
So burned down on Bigfoot.
We don't have to talk about it again. Okay.
It's one of those things that's like super interesting for a couple days.
I mean, yeah, I don't want to say it's not, but I don't know whether Bigfoot exists or not. Like I said actually earlier today, it doesn't change what I do or what my plans are. So cool. If he's there, cool. Not
True.
cool.
Yeah. True. People obsessed.
That's as far as you can go.
Huh?
That's as far as I know.
No worries. I'm not going to tell.
So, if somebody wanted to email you, Scott, where would they email?
If they wanted to email me, or if they wanted to email us.
Higher.
Do you have
What's our email address?
Do you have an email address?
Our email address is highermindspodcast@gmail.
HigherMindsPodcast@gmail.
Our website is highermindspodcast.com.
HigherMindsPodcast.com.
We're also on Facebook,
Facebook,
Twitter,
and Twitter,
Instagram.
and Instagram. What's the name there?
How do you spell that?
I don't know how the hell you'd spell a burp.
So, I mean, we're active enough that if you just search Higher Minds Podcast, you'll find us.
Yeah.
It's the picture of the brain and the weed.
Yeah, we should be like the first thing that shows up
SoundCloud.
when you Google us.
Yeah. If you, it's top line. We got Higher Minds Podcast.
.com.
.com.
Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, SoundCloud, Gmail.
Yo, mama. She knows all about us too. Collectively, not specifically yours. Just everybody's mom knows what's up. Ask her.
Sure.
That'd be cool though. Anyway.
Yeah. HigherMindsPodcast.com.
Practice that.
Deuces.
Cheers.